are headed to a podcast recording for World AIDS Day for a company by the name of Afrocentric. Why is faith playing such an important role? Why is it so important in HIV management? It's also okay if you got HIV because you're promiscuous. How is Pharmacy Direct working in partnership with others to make everything still accessible, like chronic medication, for example, and HIV management medication to those that don't have private healthcare access? It seems like it's exclusive for middle and upper class. We do, Maria. Can you see us? No. Look who I'm shooting with today.
I'm good. How are you, Nana?
We just realized what a small world it is. She's friends with my aunt in Cape Town and with my sister. Where's the gin for my water glass? Because you know on TV it's never real, so it has to be gin.
Gin, please. From the tap, infused.
When I do my sort of like opening, which would be my camera? The far back one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And anytime you need to speak directly, as if you're speaking to a viewer or you, that will be your camera.
And then you'll let me know.
That's there, it's in a general direction. So if you're looking there, you still find your island's going to be okay.
Okay. We're busy setting up in the boardroom at the head office of Afrocentric. The offices are so beautiful. You can actually see like the view of, I guess this is the West Rand, because we're in Roodepoort. Very beautiful. So I'm just loading up my iPad with my script and my notes, and I'm getting my energy. This is my energy drink right now because my tummy's not feeling too settled. And then and I happen to bump into somebody I know, Maria, who I know via my aunt who lives in Cape Town. So it's nice to see friendly faces, and we're working with Dino and Eugene of Blue Indian Productions, Blue Indian Pictures. 6 cameras that we're rolling with. So I've never actually done a boardroom style shoot.
In the opening?
Okay, so I'll add it sort of after this sort of intro. What do you want them to do? So what I'll actually do is maybe at the top I focus on like what is the main purpose of the conversation, right? Then at the end, my final question to everybody would sort of be around, what are you asking society to do? What would you like? Is this going to be cut into different episodes, or it's actually one thing?
So what they wants to do is that snippet of it. So they will cut, there will be parts that will go to the members. There will be cuts that will go to corporates. So those are the snippets that...
So my language is, this is kind of a special, it's a one thing, it's not
It's one
episodes.
thing, you worry not about that.
Okay.
The directors will be the one that will be able to cut appropriate.
No, because it's saying moderating a series of episodes, so I want to be clear when the language I use, that it's a once-off call. It was around everybody who's going to get a chance to see this. So you said corporate, and who else will be?
Beneficiaries, clients. Our schemes members, so the whole lot. So in the main, and potential clients, yeah. And that's the reason why part of it is to really talk about the AFA is
Okay.
That's the name that is on it.
If you're rebranding, stick to AFA, I would say.
So does the team still be doing one more test?
Cool.
Because I'm just thinking like when you reference CCMDT, it's a very long acronym. So you want to be careful.
I think if you know,
Don't call it that, just call it what it does. It's another way of...
No, but I think defining the name itself would be nice.
So you know what's very easy that they can do is just strap the name. So you can use the acronym, they will have all the information, they'll put the strap to put the details, if that's easier for you to say.
Because I'm just taking lead from the advisory that we got yesterday, to say avoid acronyms and then give full names.
So things like PrEP, PEP,
I don't know, because I'm not a communication specialist.
I think you know your audience. You have to make communication simple. I always say to my guests on radio, because I'll interview neurosurgeons and medical professionals, I'm like, speak layman terms, also use your audience. Once you start talking about the derma layer of now, people are like, what are they talking about? They switch off. You gotta simplify the language. And somebody said to me, assume there's a 10-year-old in the room and you want them to understand what you're saying. That's the level of language you must use.
Nowadays there's reverse psychology. We are learning from 10-year-olds nowadays.
You are always learning. It's just our parents didn't want to listen to us. They didn't want to listen to us. I'm learning from my 2-year-old. He's my teacher. Why was it important for us to even be having this conversation for World AIDS Day?
I think firstly, as a health-centric organization, and as you mentioned in your introduction, being a leading diversified group, all things related to HIV, AIDS, and the management thereof, and ultimately the bold ambition of eradicating it completely, are part of the social discourse that Afrocentric has been leading for the last 25 years through, Aid for AIDS and AFA. And I think that's an important reason for us to be having this conversation.
I think it's important we note, it's also okay if you got HIV because you're promiscuous. You also are entitled to treatment and care. You are also entitled to support. No one is going to say, wena, because you're not welcome. Everybody is welcome. How is Pharmacy Direct working in partnership with others to make everything still accessible, like chronic medication, for example, and HIV management medication to those that don't have private healthcare access?
What we do in terms of that is that we make sure that even those, the poorest of the poorest, that obviously cannot afford private medication, they can be able to access this medication. We've got almost about 40 pharmacists that will obviously make sure that it's a correct formulary, because just because people don't have money does not mean that they don't deserve correct medication. So that's why PD is very integral to this value chain, to make sure that we support also our sister companies, to make sure that we can reduce the impact of the disease.
Why is faith playing such an important role? Why is it so important in HIV management?
So I think we, as a church, we play quite an important or quite a vital role, because we have access, we exist within the community. We get members who are coming for counseling. It's because of infidelity now, the other partner is infected, and we cannot continue to ignore that. So it needs to be part of the sermon where we raise awareness, part of our youth programs, where we talk to our young people and raise awareness of these conditions.
Thank you so much to all of the panel that was part of this conversation, but also thank you so much to all of you for watching. The real work starts now.